Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this one is an impromptu video. I stopped in today at the nearest comic shop to me today, and I was actually looking for one thing, and that was this book, Jaguar #1, one shot from Archie. And I heard about that about a week or so ago. I didn't know it was coming out. I heard about it on Archie and Me podcast. So I definitely wanted to get it. And this is about or basically a reboot of their classic 50s and 60s, and again in the 80s, superhero character of the Jaguar. And that's Jaguar, not Jaguar. And if you're a Brit, you'd say Jaguar, but it's Jaguar. And it's a beautiful cover. I love this cover. And I haven't had a chance to read it yet. It has while the interior art is not quite as nice, it is still looks pretty good, dynamic, but is stylized. And then I also picked up. I only got a couple of new things, and even one of the new things I got isn't new, and that is Detective Comics number 411. This is, I didn't know they were doing them. A facsimile, another facsimile book of reprinting Detective Comics featuring Batman and Batgirl from 1971, written by Denny O'Neil with art by Bob Brown. Bob Brown. Higgy, I don't like that. Bob Brown and Dick Giordano. And some nice classic Batman. I really liked Batman from this era, in the Bronze Age, Silver Age. And while I was going through, I glanced through some of the magazines, and I just recently did that whole episode on Savage Sword of Conan and the other black and white magazines, and I picked up a couple of those too. Number 69 and 77 from 1981 and 82, and they both have these great Joe Juiceco painted covers on them. The interior art, some great interior art, great black and white stuff. I'll use this one because this is John Byrne, and this is the way I like the black and white art, where you can see that the hand applied gray wash, and that's what I love to see. I don't like the computer stuff, even though I talked about the new Titan Savage Sword, which I really liked, but that's the one thing I didn't like about it, was the computerized grays. Oh, and really sucks because they're only $2 a piece. So I snagged them. I used to have these. I used to have those. Okay. And then, speaking of Savage, well, I while I was going to check out, I looked over on the rack where they have their tin book grab bags. 10 books for $10, and I didn't intend to get them. But when I glanced over and I saw something caught my eye on one of these grab bags, and I looked at it and I liked that. I said I wanted to get that, and I flipped it over and said, "Oh, I like that too." So I'll take a look. Now, a couple weeks ago, or a month or so ago, I did an episode on those grab bags that I got, and I was not pleased with so a lot of the titles, a lot of the books that I got in that one. But this one's better. Started off with Savage Sword of Conan. This is from 2019, when Marvel had the license again for the short while. But that cover, that is an Alex Raymond painted cover based on a John Buscema and Ernie Chan drawing. Oh, and that come out wonderful. And then I looking through it in the back here, and their ad for next month. Oh, look at that cover. Look at that painting. Another Alex Ross after John Buscema painting. Oh, that's great. And the whole thing, I haven't had a chance to read it. I didn't get much in the way of Conan at the time when Marvel had it again. I think I got 1 or 2 issues. Great stuff, great looking stuff. I'm not as thrilled with the interior art. I mean, it's still great stuff, but not as thrilled as the classic stuff. Then here is Superman 655. This is from, what was it? Yeah, 06. So, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. And then here is Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, number 15, featuring Dr. Doom. This is from the 90s, I think it was. And that looks good. And then, how does it? Now, I am not a fan. This Spawn from Image Comics, number 340. And I am not a fan of Spawn. I just looked through it, and I'll read it. It might be decent. But I love that cover. It's a beautiful painted cover. And what's so neat, you can't see it, but when I look at it real closely, and with the painting, you can see the texture of the illustration board under the paint. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. That's because I'm an artist myself. That's one of the things I loved about a lot of the Frank Frazetta paintings. When you look closely at it, you can see the texture of the canvas under the paint. And here's one that I've never heard of. I know nothing about, but it looks kind of interesting. I think it's supposed to be horror. Lonely Receiver. And this is very adult and mature, not graphic, but it has nudity, even though the art style is very stylized. And we'll see about that. But then here's another one. Marvel Zombies one-shot. And this, I've never read any of the Marvel Zombie stuff, so this will be a treat. And some real nice interior artwork. But Soydum did the cover, and the cover is a wraparound gatefold. I can't even show the whole. Hold it up so that you can see the entire image. That's cool. That is way cool. That's a cool painting. He does great horror stuff. He does a lot of he used to do some of the Warren covers, and now does a lot of the painted covers for the Warrant horror magazines. And then we here have Ms. Marvel. This is before she took the moniker of Captain Marvel back. And this, of course, with this different. And this is, again, some nice artwork. This is Del Torre, who has done Conan the Barbarian for Titan. It doesn't look nearly as much like John Buscema. Roberto Del Torre. But that looks good. And then we had, going back to Justice League. This is Rebirth Outbreak. This is issue number 9. This is earlier in the century. I don't know what year. And I haven't read any of these, so this will be a treat. Well, it's only $1, so that's a real treat. But then we go back to the 90s here with The Punisher number 76. I liked The Punisher back then. This is in the 90s. I liked The Punisher, and I like that Punisher skull. I've heard other people say, "Oh, it's too bad that they've changed that skull." Well, there's a reason why they changed the design of the skull. Is because some of the I'll just say bad people out there have, even though it was more or less adopted by some military units, and then some bad people picked it up and had been using that skull design as a logo, and so Marvel wanted to change that. They didn't want to be associated with that, so they changed the design. But I loved that skull design, and I liked all the Punisher movies, even though they were flawed. And then we're going to finish this up with the Shadow. This is from Dark Horse Comics, 1994, I think it was. I think that was the year. It was 94. But I didn't know this had ever been out. This is issue 1 of 2. This is a comic adaptation of the 94 movie. I didn't know it had done that with art by Mike Kaluta. Oh, and it's just some great. He does this great work on this kind of stuff. And I didn't know about it. Now I want to try to find issue 2 because I love the movie. I love Mike Kaluta's artwork, and I love the Shadow. So that is all I've got to share with you this time on this impromptu little video of the comics grab bag. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do leave a comment. What issues did you see here that you liked? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.